Hello, everyone. My name is Omotola of LifestyleByOmoT, and this is another friendship series. I'm particularly excited today because we've got a special guest. Welcome, babe.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for gracing my seat, my humble seat. Before we do a lot of the shenanigans, shall we meet you, please?
Hello, my name is Ibukun. I've been friends with Omotola for 15 years. It'll be 15 years this year.
I can't believe this.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
So, it's been 15 years of everything in between. The good,
the bad, and the ugly.
And everything in between. So, it's nice to be here and to be able to share some of that with you guys.
Oh, thank you so much, Ibukun. It's such an honor to have you here, and I do not take it for granted. I think we should talk about how we met. I don't know if you remember.
So we met in 100 level in UI.
What's UI?
University of Ibadan. I apologize. In medical school.
Right.
So we're still having preclinical, not even preclinical yet, like basic science classes. And Tola, as some of you know, has always been efficient with good character.
Oh my god!
Like always copying her notes and things like that. And I was just a little bit unserious. So it started out with borrowing notes, classes that I had missed up. I was in the class, but for whatever reason, I had no notes for the class I attended.
Oh my god!
So it started out with me borrowing notes in 100.
Okay. I think that before you started borrowing my notes, I knew you. I knew your paper. I had seen, I think it was one list that we went to sign somewhere in UI or UCH then. And I had seen Ibukun's, it wasn't even your name I saw first, it was your birthday. I saw June 5. I was like, oh, this person's birthday is so close to mine. And her name is Ibukun Adeboye. I was like, it would be nice to meet this person. And yeah, I think we just, I don't know, from the name, I just wanted to know the person more. And yeah, here we are today.
I think what did it for me was your handwriting. I mean, your handwriting is very beautiful. It was easy to read the notes. Made me even lazier. I can't always borrow these notes. I have to write my own.
God. Oh my god, yeah. Speaking about borrowing notes, you were not the only one who was borrowing my notes.
You could have sold that thing. You'd have made money.
I would have made money.
Yeah.
And how about my roommates that were harassing you? I'm sure she's going to watch this video.
You could not stop me. No, if you guys, if there's someone you like and you want the person to be your friend, don't let haters get in your way.
Trust me, that's a life lesson, and that's why I have Ibukun here. Ibukun and I, we've had a beautiful friendship, but just like she said, we've had our ups, our downs, our in-betweens, not so nice, times where we've ghosted each other. But somehow we come back and we love.
Yes.
We've ghosted each other. But somehow we still find a way of coming around it. And I think for me, it's because I see the value in the relationship. And I'm like, no, I'm not losing her.
We'll fix it.
We must fix it. For both times, she's the one that fixes it because I have coconut head. Right. So today, I have a couple of questions for Ibukun. And that's because I think we've shared such a unique relationship. And I feel like a lot of people can learn from it. You don't always have to be all jolly and merry in a relationship. Things can go up, you can come down, but at the end of the day, you try to look at what each person brings to the table and how each person is able to navigate that phase and just move forward, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But before we get to these serious things, because you're a relationship expert, yes. Just a few questions for you to lighten up the mood. So, Ibukun,
yes, ma'am.
What's your biggest ick? Relationship ick or friendship ick? Like if that person does, that's it.
I don't think I have this is like an absolute rule that if this is what you do, then that's it. Because I don't have many friends and I'm very intentional about selecting my friends. a lot of people might not agree, but I see friendships and relationships as a transaction. In as much as I'm going to invest a lot of time and effort and emotions into the relationship, there are a few things that would have attracted me to the person in the first place. Like I said, for you, it was not the fact that you were going to help my life and I was going to pass my exams.
Oh my god.
Anyhow, so because I'm very careful about selecting my friends, there are fundamentally good people,
True.
and I don't think that singular acts would make me cancel anybody. But there are things that, when done repeatedly and consistently, and I have tried and brought it up, but this person is just not.
It's not listening.
Nah, sometimes those relationships just die a natural death. And for me, one of the things that frustrate me in relationships is the inability to settle conflict and how people handle conflict. So people that like repeatedly blow up and flare up when they're upset and are not, and do silly things out of anger and then come back. So I was angry. Nah, don't do that.
But they come back now.
Nah. Don't do that. I'm not a yo-yo. We have to do back and forth. Let's have stability in our relationship. If there's constant back and forth and it's not stable, I don't think that I can handle the hot to the cold tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like an emotional roller coaster.
No, I shouldn't do that.
I don't know where I stand. Right. Okay, that's interesting. So, needless to say, you must have had relationship breakup, like friendship breakups.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
What should I ask?
Oh, I've had a few that we've actually sat down. I'm like, there are a few that just died a natural death. There are a couple of people that come to mind that I've actually sat down and said, I can't do this anymore, sorry.
Like you have a proper conversation.
Yeah, proper conversation.
Oh,
no, I can't do this anymore. This friendship is taking more than I'm willing to give. And then it ended.
Okay. I think that sounds
when we didn't fight though, we're still like, if I say hi, I will still send messages on birthdays. But I have no more emotional investment in that relationship.
That's fair enough. But I think it takes a lot of bravery to do that. Yeah.
Or being fed up.
Whatever. But it's done in a mature way, and that's what matters. I said you're a relationship and friendship guru. This is my definition. So if you like, agree. If you like to not agree. Very hot question. Can you still be friends with an ex?
No.
Did you even think about it?
No. No.
Why?
It was a personal question, so it's about me and my own ex or ex whatever. So bringing to mind those relationships, I can't do it. I can't. I think that it's easier for me. I don't maintain relationships or acquaintances or whatever. I wouldn't do that with an ex because it's easier to do.
Okay.
I don't have to think about, okay, how much can I say to this? How much is too much?
Sure.
Then I start having to think, okay, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. It's just easier for it to be severed. Not that it ended badly or we are fighting or anything. It just seems neater. Tie it up neatly in a bow
and just deliver
deliver that and then move on to the next thing.
Well, I mean, again, you said it's a personal perspective, and that's just you. So that's nice.
So
I'm really grateful I'm really grateful that the question is not being turned to me, but now you want to ask.
Yes. So would you? Well, I know the answer. I know you would be friends. I know you would be friends.
Maybe not friends, but friendly with
Yeah. I think it also comes from our differences in personalities.
I guess.
Well. You have a lot of acquaintances and different stages of friendships and keep in touch with a whole lot of people and maintain quite a lot of relationships. I think I just pick a very few people, invest deeply in those ones, and then I just smile and say hi to everybody else.
Yeah, which is safe. It could be safe because sometimes it's difficult to draw the line between an acquaintance and a friend, and you can get one in trouble. So I think you're doing it the safe way.
Might be safe, but might not be the best.
Whatever works for each person. Okay, thank you for giving us this honest answers.
You're welcome.
Your look hasn't changed for once. That honesty. She would dish it out with grace and wisdom.
But I'm learning now to reserve my opinion when nobody asks me.
Please, you need it. You need it. Right. So still on friendship, we'll still move to other things, but I think that friendship is very important. And for me, it's something that could make or mar a human being.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that there are certain things that you look for in your friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen over the years that your friends are solid and long term.
They are premium friends.
They are premium.
They are premium.
You know the beautiful part of it? Oh God, I've lost my dream. Oh my God. Right. So what are those things that you look out for in a friend, or that you would advise that people look out for in friends?
Okay. So like I said earlier, I see friendships and relationships in general like a bargain, like a business transaction to some extent. Yeah.
It is.
But first, before you bargain, you have to know what you want, who you are
Exactly.
as a person. Of course, we evolve over time, and
Sure.
who I was when I met Tola 15 years ago, it's not the same person I am now. But the fundamentals were the same thing. And the things I want, and you have friends for different seasons.
True.
Yeah. So it was because we were in school. I wasn't very serious minded, but I knew that I needed to be. So a couple of friends like you in clinical school, it was Ayokule, that were where I needed to be, and I needed those people to pull me up. For spiritual matters, it was Odumayo that would help, like, okay, let's pray together, let's do stuff together. It was friends like that, and I like to think that there was something in it for my friends as well.
Of course.
That they saw in me, that they were willing to learn from. So it's not just about taking.
No.
But for me, it was more about it was more than the feelings of, oh, I like this person. And I've discovered the friendships that didn't last. A few friends I made in UI by happenstance, maybe because we're in the same class and then used to go to the same fellowship, and then we had a few things in common, and it was like all of a sudden friendship, will go out together, do each other's hair and all that.
Do each other's hair.
It didn't last.
Right.
So for friendships to have lasted for me, there has to be a deeper why.
Yeah.
And I think that people should find
Yeah, why?
a why. And sometimes that why is fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be, okay, I need somebody who is more outspoken, who's going to take me out of myself, who's going to take me to see places. It could be, I've just moved to a new community. I need somebody who knows the community well, who's going to help me get situated.
True.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at the end of the day, it's all positive vibes, right? So millennial. Right, but I still love you. So speaking about moving to a new place and making friends and all that, I know that in the last few years, we, alongside other people, we've moved multiple times.
Yeah.
From house job to service share to working and then relocating finally to the UK. So how has relocation been for you?
It is well.
Amen.
And we thank God because we're where the Lord would have us be. So I'm very happy to be here. I think it's an opportunity and a privilege that I do not take for granted for anything. But it came with its own challenges as well.
Absolutely.
New place, away from everybody that we know, and we moved with a young child. So that was very stressful as well. And moved with work. So started working, training immediately. So it was literally baptism by fire. Like
real baptism.
And start those long, crazy hours. And there was no childcare. So we had to figure I wouldn't even say we had to figure. We are figuring out.
We're still figuring out.
After 2 years, you take one day at a time.
I know, right?
That's what we've decided to do. Take one day at a time.
Yeah.
And ask for help.
True.
Ask for help.
Relocation is not being. You know, you hear about it, you watch podcasts, people tell you their real life experiences, but you need to experience it yourself to know the real deal.
I think it's doable. And I think that human beings are not created to live in isolation.
Right.
So if you can, as much as you can, get out of yourself and try and develop a new community. For me, moving to the town I moved to was very good because I quickly found a local church community,
that's really good.
a few good friends. At least on Sundays, I would see people and would talk and wait after service and hang out and make plans to meet up during the week. Half of the time, does it work out?
I wanted to say, do you really meet up?
Half of the time doesn't. But when you have like people that have children the same age as your child, that you believe the same things, it's easier to plan play dates and then let's just get the little ones together. Moms can have a cup of coffee as well. So that has been.
Yeah, that's good. It's nice, and I think it's one way to integrate into the community as well. Yeah, I have a couple of moms like that too. You know, I never saw myself as a mom that would be looking for co-moms to hang out with.
It's necessary. I think it's necessary for sanity.
It is.
It is necessary for sanity. So you can just look at the little ones and all their shenanigans. Somebody can relate and they can look at.
They get you.
Why are these ones behaving?
I know, right? Okay, so Ibukun, you've mentioned a lot of things, and it sounds like I'm really sitting on this friendship and relationship thing. I know I've kind of spoken about relocation as well, but I just wanted to ask if you could share a few practical tips of how to resolve conflict. Okay. Because that's one thing that I think that you've been able to do successfully in our relationship. There are times that we've not necessarily agreed on something, but we've kind of found a way around it, and most times you've initiated it. So can you give us like practical examples?
Okay, for me, what I do, and this is the same method with, well, a few adjustments to marriage, but in friendship is, does this thing matter? This thing that we're disagreeing about, does it matter? Is it just a difference in opinion?
Yeah.
Or did this person do something that hurt me? And if the person did, if I'm feeling hurt, am I feeling hurt or the person actually do something?
True.
So I first have those conversations with myself, which is why a lot of time I don't bring things up in the heat of the moment, except it's obviously maybe somebody speaks rudely to you. Even though half the time with friends, they have an excuse for it. But if it's things that I first decide, does it matter? We're not the same people. We can have differences in opinions, and that's fine. If it does matter, then I'll bring it up. And because if it's a new friendship, it might be a bit, it might lead to fine. But if we've been friends for 50, I'm just going to come right out and say it. Babe, that time that you said that, what did you mean? Because this is how me I saw it too.
Okay.
And then the point is not to berate or shout at the person. The point is to fix things. And then the person says, oh, okay, that's not how I saw it. This is how I saw it. And then it goes.
Just move on.
You just move on. Sometimes we still don't agree. And then but if we are expressing ourselves, you can see both sides of the argument and we can agree to disagree. Okay. I see your point and I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But that's your point is not enough to change my mind.
You don't have to change your mind.
I still think that this is what the case may be. But if we feel hurt, then I'm expressing why I feel hurt. And most times they're friends with a sensible person. And your friends don't intentionally hurt you. They're going to apologize for hurting you and express their point. You don't have to change their stance, but maybe it's the way they expressed themselves that wasn't nice.
Yeah.
And then they can apologize for that. But they can still hold on to their point.
Yeah. And that's why life is interesting anyway. The fact that I know that, oh, this is going to be, you know how that you were going to ask me a question and you're like, I already know your answer. I already know your answer. The fact that you know that I don't hold this belief, I don't have this point of view, but it's okay for another person to have this point of view, as far as it's not something extreme or something that's going to hurt.
And I think we should
person.
manage our expectations, basically.
Yeah.
We should manage our expectations. A lot of us expect friends to do for us what we should do for ourselves. Things that are between us and the Holy Spirit, we bring it up with friends. Things like joy and fulfillment and happiness, and they're not dependent on external factors and external relationships.
Preach, mama.
So we shouldn't put that burden on them.
Yeah. And even our partners too.
No.
Yeah.
That's your problem.
Yeah.
Fix your ish. And leave your friends out of it.
Yeah.
So that you can deal with things that matter and not place unnecessary burdens on them.
Yeah. And I think that sometimes it could be people, just like what you said, it could be me projecting my emotions on another person. So say I'm feeling sad or unfulfilled about something, then I just look for the closest friend and say they're because of my problem. That could happen, and it's an unconscious process. So that could happen. Right, we've spoken a lot about relationships, friendships, relocation, just a little bit. Now let's go to the fun part. Ibukun,
Yeah.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
It's just your calmness for me.
I don't know if I put up my hands.
Right. So it's going to be a this or that scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Love or money? Pick one. Fast. Hurry up.
Love with money.
With money. I stand with you.
Basically love, but let's it have money.
Let's have money inside. For money and servant all things. Glorious. Right. Family or friends?
That's not fair. It's not fair. I can't pick.
I'm going to send this video to your parents. Right, I don't think that's fair.
No, it's not fair.
Yeah, city life or village life?
Village life.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely village life.
UK village or Nigerian village?
UK village.
Right. Okay. Should we do one more?
Okay.
Are you sure?
I feel like I should say no. I'll protect myself. But we're both. Let's go for it.
Okay. Old friends or new friends?
Old friends.
Right, okay.
Old
That's
friends.
good. Okay. Right, that's nice. And I'm going to give you some situation scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
Just two. They are hot topics, and I don't mean to put you on the spot. But it is
You
happening.
do mean to put me on this
But
spot.
it's happening.
Let's go.
Right. So this would not usually happen
Mm-hmm.
in our kind of circle, but this is hypothetical. It happens in other circles.
Let's hear it.
Yes. What would you do if your friend
Mm-hmm.
dates your ex?
How is that my business?
Okay.
Like I said, I put exes in a little book, and
Yes, but your friend, your close friend, one of your inner circle.
it just means that. So I'm because I have very few friends. Their partners are also friends by extension.
Okay.
So I'm friendly with their partners. Maybe not friends, but I'm friendly with the partners of my friends. So it just means that communication with that friend is going to be limited because I wouldn't.
Because
I don't want
that
to-
one is in a box already now.
Hey, and that I don't want wahala.
But are you sure that your friendship would still hold?
It might gradually.
Think about it very
with
well.
time. I wouldn't be offended. I wouldn't be upset about that kind of thing. But I don't think I would know how to manage the relationship moving forward. How much am I supposed to interact with this person, seeing as I cannot interact that way with their new partner because of our history? How much of my interaction will be misconstrued? Because I respect myself a lot, and I don't want any insults or any kind of misunderstandings over issues like partners. So I wouldn't know how to handle that relationship.
Yeah.
That is probably why I would step back. not because I'm offended. I wouldn't be offended. Nah,
Okay.
no.
Okay. Right. That's interesting. I'm sure there are lots of people that will have hot takes on such
If a
topics.
person is truly an ex, then it's an ex. You move on.
Okay. Right. That's nice to hear, Madam Relationship. Right. So there's one more, but this is more about friendships.
Okay.
And I've heard of friends. The last time I had a conversation with one of my friends here, we're talking about how some friends are not able to handle their friends having other friends.
Is he married?
That's what I told her. That I can understand in a marriage relationship, things are exclusive, but in normal
Friendship
friendship,
is not exclusive now.
thank you.
I don't think I will have any friends if my friends felt that way, because I have friends in groups.
Do you understand? They are different.
And they are
groups.
very different.
And diverse.
Groups, very different from each other.
Exactly.
So I don't think it's a problem.
Okay.
I don't have a problem.
Alright. Do you have any?
As long as I don't feel that our relationship is threatened on an individual, excluding your friends, if I think that, okay, this person is not putting as much as I am putting into the friendship, then I can have a conversation about it and say, what's going on? I feel like you've not been there for me on such and such occasion. And then hopefully we can walk through
things
it
out,
and
yeah.
move on.
Okay.
It's not a marriage. It's not that deep.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Ibukun. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I had a good time.
You did. Ibukun was like 15 minutes. That's a long time. This is us, the almost 30 minutes now.
I had a good time, guys, and I hope you have a good time watching as well.
Thank you. So if you have any questions for Ibukun, please. We're always in the comments.
I will be in the comments.
Yeah, she'll be in the comments.
With my hot takes.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Love you, babe.